What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to entry 43 of the Creative Journal podcast. I'm super excited to be talking to you guys today. And today's going to be a bit more of a laid-back, sort of less structured episode. And it's going to be just me and you guys talking back and forth, riffing on some updates, plans for the future, things that I'm excited about. And I'm excited to get into it. I haven't done an update-style episode in a while. And to be honest with you guys, that's one of the main reasons I started the show, was to be able to be very transparent on the makings of the creative business, things I'm doing, the people I'm meeting, the business transactions, the everything, the nitty-gritty that's going on kind of behind the scenes. And so it's pretty refreshing to just have a business update, personal update / episode between all of these guests that are coming on, and a lot more that will come on in the future. So yes, entry 43. Make sure if you guys are enjoying the show, I'll get the housekeeping out of the way. Just leave a review. It does a ton for the show, and we are very behind on Spotify reviews. And to be honest, I don't do a good job of promoting that. That helps us as much as it does. So if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving a 5-star review or a 4-star review, or anything less too if you think it deserves less. But be sure to let us know why, because we're going to keep delivering value each and every week. And we upload every Tuesdays at 8 a.m. And yeah, that should be all for the housekeeping. But yeah, so diving straight into it, some of the things I want to touch on in this episode is kind of the directions for the show, where we're going to be heading into the second quarter of 2024, which is just unreal that we're already getting there. It's crazy to think about. We've been doing the show since August of last year, and we're going to be coming up on a year here soon. So throughout the trajectory of the Creative Journal, by the way, this started very much on an impulse, and I knew that I wanted a format where I could use this as a networking opportunity to learn from other business owners, share my journey, and just talk about the things that I was learning from these incredible people, and use it as an avenue to spotlight not just other creatives, but other business owners, and learn what they're doing, what's working, and how I can apply that to my career moving forwards. And as I've moved through this, the evolution of the show, I've switched jobs, I've gone full-time on the business, and this thing has been there the whole time. So in keeping with the theme of the show, I want to continue to be as transparent as possible, and that involves, updates and episodes like this. So as we move forward, I want to move, the podcast is going to be the thing that informs a lot of the content. MMG Design is the business, and that informs, the money side of things, how I make money, the clients I work with, and the websites, design, branding that we do for clients. And I want to integrate these things more into the future. You guys have probably noticed I haven't done ad reads or anything like that. I say it's the Creative Journal podcast by MMG Design. They're kind of one and the same, because they're both, they're both my brainchild. They're both the things that I do creatively in my expressions, and I want them to be one and the same. I want them to uplift each other. And just because one is a business and the other is a podcast, I don't feel like they detract from each other. So I want them to be something that lift each other up. But the guests I have on have valuable lessons that they can share with the audience, and it all just goes into this content loop that, is sharing the story, inspiring creativity, at the same time as teaching business, and is just full of good vibes and providing value to the audience. So if you guys like how that sounds, I'm excited to continue pursuing the show in this direction. But I would also love feedback. So you guys have been doing a great job of commenting on the episodes, just sharing your feedback. What is something that you want to see more of? We've had some great guests on, Mr. Andy DeVito, Wasty Picasso, Liz Mosley, Sam Sarson. Last week was an incredible episode. Got great feedback from that, talking about, SEO and offering other services in your business. We've talked to Jeremy Slagle here in Columbus. We've talked to James Barnard and freaking the United Kingdom. We've talked to people all around the world. And to be honest with you guys, that's what fires me up about the show, is that I can get into these rooms with people that, to be honest with you guys, I have no business in being with them. I say that all the time, but yeah, it blows my mind that I get to have conversations with these people, and the fact that I can make it part of the business that, sustains me and allows me to do this sort of infinite content loop sort of thing, which we publish the blogs on the website too. So if you guys haven't read the blog or the newsletter, we publish that on Sundays, and the LinkedIn newsletter goes out on Wednesdays. So it's this, all this stuff is baked into the MMG brand, and the Creative Journal is the creative expression of that, and sort of a living document of the people I meet and everything that I want to share as a subsidiary. So moving forwards, I'm looking into very close to some exciting partnerships for the show. I've joined a lot of groups here in Ohio, specifically the Columbus Chamber, who might be interested in forming some sort of partnership for the show moving forward. So some of the business owners that come on in the near future might be more local, but that does not mean that they are outside of the niche that the people I want to interview. So the main premise of my show, of the Creative Journal, is to provide value through creativity and entrepreneurship, and to also share the journey, like I said. But I can learn so much from interviewing business owners, especially here locally in Columbus, one of the fastest growing cities in Ohio. And I'm excited to share the lessons that, I can learn from talking to business owners, a creative, and learning their lessons about how they scaled, because I know everyone has a different story. And that's what fires me up, is being able to learn these things, people who have gone through the fire. And I think anyone listening can take away something from business owners, from entrepreneurs who have gone against the grain, and they've built enterprises, they've kind of built their own thing. No matter what industry it is, I think you can take away lessons from that. And that's something that I've learned just from listening to other podcasts. I listen to so many audiobooks, podcasts, newsletters, books. It's all a content loop, and it's not discriminatory just because someone works in a different industry. There's always overlapping lessons. So I think we're all kind of drinking from this fire hose of information, but I've always believed, Tim Ferriss says this, is that the good stuff sticks. And if you hear something that resonates with you, and there's so many light bulb moments in my mind, not just on this show, but throughout life, where I've heard a piece of advice, I've heard a piece of content, something that's really resonated with me, and I've wanted to share it. And that's a big reason we have the show, is to share these lessons and to relearn them for myself as I'm talking. But so that's kind of the directions that I'm wanting to touch on for the show. If you guys have a specific guest that you loved, I am biased because I love all of them, and we'll have a lot of them on for repeat episodes. But if you guys liked any of the guests, if you have any recommendations for guests, either here locally in Ohio or worldwide or in the creative industry, leave me a comment, send me an email, andy@mmgdesign.net, or just comment on any of my social medias. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear your feedback and get a better touch for where the audio is supposed to show to go. And yeah, like I said, we're going to keep riding until the wheels fall off and keep delivering creative and business value for the long term. So that's kind of the update on the show. Another thing I want to talk about was personal business. What am I up to? Oh boy, this is going to be a long episode. No, it won't be. I'll try to keep it around about 15 to 20 minutes. But so on the business side of things, I went full-time freelance in web design, development, and graphic design branding about 4.5 months ago, February 1st. So yeah, 4.5 months ago. And it's been very overwhelming and exciting, and all the emotions. And sharing the journey is something that I've been very careful to do, because I know that when I look back, after I have done this for years and years, that it's going to be one of the most fulfilling and rewarding things that I could have possibly invested in. We started doing the vlog series, which is basically just taking the footage that I was already doing from my my Snapchat reels, and just adding dialogue to it, talking about the things I do throughout the day. Now, I've posted on LinkedIn every single weekday since I've started full-time. So hundreds and hundreds of posts. I'm almost at 1,000 followers after being at just over 300 since I was working at the job. So I've joined 3 chambers of commerces. I have joined 2 networking groups, and I have joined multiple online communities, online forums. I'm constantly talking about the business, networking, sharing projects, sharing work, enrolling in courses, learning new things on the web design, development, branding side of things, and adding more value to the customers, to the people I work with, to my partners, and just sharing the journey as I go. And financially, it hasn't been everything I want it to be honest with you, but we have seen upwards increases in trends, and I can tell you right now, we're sustaining a point where I was already making more than I was, at my past jobs, and I want to be transparent about exact dollars and cents, but I realize that can be a touchy topic to people. So if you guys would like to see, transparent, actual monthly breakdowns of financial reports, of my goals, of what I'm doing to meet the numbers that I need to keep the lights on, then I would love to share that. So if that's something you guys want to see, be sure to comment, let me know. I know Entrepreneurs on Fire, John Lee Dumas, SPI, they've done very transparent sort of monthly breakdowns of what their income was, number of clients onboarded, salary, customer value, goals for the next month, what they need to do to reach their minimum viable standing. And I love the idea of doing that, doing a financial breakdown every month. And because every month is not going to be a great month. It's so up and down, so roller coastery, that it's very difficult to say, like, okay, this was the best month ever. But then when you have a bad month, it's a lot more difficult to share. And I think just acknowledging the reality that we all go through that is something that I'm trying to check myself on. And also, like, I'm very wary of people who, when they share financial information about their business, it is only during the good times. And they usually tend to get more detailed about how well they're doing when they are doing well. And then they get a little more vague as it gets towards the dry months, which, as I said, that happens for everybody. So, and even me right now, we have so many emotions around the topics of money and finances, and separating myself from that is something that's gone a long way for me, and I'm still getting better at it. And I want to be someone that doesn't have a problem talking about money in any sense of the word, because it's not my main driver, and I'm confident in that. It's just that I am very wary that there are other people that have strong opinions about it, especially when it comes to pricing and payment structures and, how hard you have to work to fulfill a certain amount of deliverables. Sorry, I'm outside right now and there are bees out here, but also, how about this backdrop? I'm at home right now. I had to get a little bit of vitamin D today. It's way too nice outside. So we're going to be recording outside today. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm feeling great. I got a little caffeine in me. I've been working at the standing desk outdoors all day, and it's been awesome. So I'm in a good mood as I'm recording this, so we're just going to keep, riding this wave of adrenaline and pushing it forward. But so on the business side of things, we're spending a lot of time in bigger rooms, getting in touch with more people and doing outreach a lot more often. So sending a lot more emails to people in the networking groups that I've met, always following up. And this was something that I was given advice on lately, but I never really took it into practice. Because I never really knew what it meant. And when I say follow up, I mean always follow up. When you talk to someone, whether it's on the phone, whether it's, at a networking event or just in passerby, when you get someone's contact information, like I've traded hands with so many contact informations in the past several months, always following up. Because then not only do they have your information afterwards, but they remember that. Like, it makes such a big difference. Like, you can only make so strong of an impression when you meet someone for the first time, but if you reach out to them that night or the next day or a week later, then you're top of mind for so much longer, and you're going to be populating probably their social feeds because you got in touch, especially if it's on LinkedIn. So I just cannot recommend that enough, because it only goes so far to kind of get your foot in the door when you meet someone for the first time, versus actually putting in the additional effort to say hello online and reach out and try and make an actual genuine relationship. Yeah, I can't say enough about following up, and a lot of opportunities have come as a result from that for me. So going to new territories in Columbus, starting new projects, having a couple exciting drafts starting this month on a couple websites, wireframing and concepting right now. Both of these are not local clients, so we're putting in the groundwork, and it's cool to see kind of our marketing efforts on social media starting to pay off. These are both leads from LinkedIn, so it's really cool to see that kind of really pay off, because I do spend a lot of time on the content on LinkedIn, and obviously providing as much value as I can, sharing projects, sharing work, connecting with others, and it's cool to see a little bit of traction take off there now. Refining offers as well. So I've always struggled a little bit with finding what my core service is, and I know without a doubt now is web design. That's what I'm best at. That's sort of the Jim Collins hedgehog effect. If you guys don't know what that is good to great. It's something I've talked about on this show. But the hedgehog concept is basically, it's also the kind of similar with Ikigai, which is this Japanese concept, but it's basically a three-pronged or three-tiered Venn diagram, if you will. What you're best at, what you add the most value in, and what you can be paid the most money for. And I believe, hands down, for me, that's web design. For the business, for MMG, that just informs all of our decisions. I have such a good workflow dialed in with Webflow and the AI tools, Reloom, creating something that's very custom, and it allows us, like our pitch at MMG Design now is agency quality websites for a affordable monthly rate. So you can afford to work with MMG because we can make these accessible. We have low overhead, small team, but you're also getting quality product. You're also getting like an agency quality website. You're not getting a Squarespace website. You're not getting a Wix website. You're getting a Webflow website hosted on the most reliable servers with all these integrations and apps that are constantly being developed. And you can scale these things. They're very lightweight. They have multiple interactions. It's scalable. It's responsive. It performs the best. Webflow is the fastest growing coding platform. There's just so much value we can offer in terms of what we can do on the web side of things with the skills we've managed to build. And that's where I can add the most value to people. And it's also the concept of what you can be paid the most money for and what I love doing. So I could spend all day in Webflow, which I have been doing lately because we're doing some exciting updates to our studio's website at MMG, and that has been a labor of love in itself. But yeah, that's what's exciting me on the business side of things. Providing the offers, being transparent about pricing, something that I hadn't done in the past on our website, but now if you go to each of our offers, we have branding, web design, and ongoing marketing. All of our prices for all the services are listed on the website. And it's not just a good way to filter out the people we don't want to work with. It's also a good way to be transparent and say, this is what we offer. This is the value you're getting. We're not doing this for free, but we also have to be sure and deliver on that value. And I think putting the prices out there forefront is a good way to set the expectations from the beginning and really know from the forefront that you're going to be delivering value. And set that expectation, like I said, because that's 90% of the game in entrepreneurship and having this business is being able to deliver on your services and just, delivering for your clients, going above and beyond. Something I've always done, I've always talked about on this show is, how above and beyond we should go. And you're probably not doing enough. Like even right now, I question myself, how can I add more value? How can I go above and beyond? How can I do more stuff for free that will lead to a value creation and a more, a more onboarding relationship going forward, something that's mutually beneficial and just makes business fun and makes it sustainable, because you have to make it sustainable. Some things that I'm bullish on moving forward. So I know we're kind of on an update tangent here, but there's a lot of things I'm bullish on heading into this next quarter of the year as we share these updates. But some things I'm really bullish on, and this is going to sound like such a broken record, but anything AI, anything automation, and anything no code. So there's so many, the barrier to entry on low code platforms is so low now. So beforehand, you would have to spend a lot of money to hire a developer or a software engineer to go and create even just a minimum viable product of anything, whether it's just a simple app or a website or landing page. And as technology has gotten better, so much stuff you can do is concepted by yourself. You can start prototyping with tools like Bubble and Figma, obviously, that are all advancing to the point where you have to be less and less skilled to be able to create something that is almost ready to be developed. And if I could say that, I'm trying to think like 2 steps ahead when I think of things that I'm bullish and bearish on. So we have lower minimum access, and it takes a lower level of skills to be able to use these tools. We also have AI, which further makes these tools more efficient. What does that mean downstream? Does it mean that there's going to be more competitive at marketplace? There's going to be more competitors in the market that are offering, digital services like digital marketing? Yes, it does. So what does that mean? Always kind of trailing these 3rd and 4th degree questions down is something I'm trying to do moving forward. But I know without the shadow of a doubt, stuff like AI and no-code platforms and things that are digital and the realms of marketing is going to be far more automated, and it's going to become far more mainstream. But I also think there's negatives to that. I think a lot of stuff that you see online, and I think we're already starting to see it now, is so much stuff starts to look the same and gets saturated. And that's why that I think in turn, sort of on the flip side, building relationships and creating unique content is going to stand out like a sore thumb. So when I say original, unique content, I mean something that strikes emotion, something that plays on heartstrings, something that you have to give a little bit of time, invest a little bit of time into to feel those emotions, something that is powerful in a different sense, not just visually, graphically stimulating, but actually resonates on an emotional level. I think there's a huge gap for that now, and I think it's going to get more and more in demand in the future. So as MMG moves forward, I'm thinking, how can we broadcast these things and sort of work those into our marketing and advertising assets moving forwards? And it's ironic because as insecure as I get about self-promotion, about marketing, the posts with me that are about me, my journey, the vlogs, the posts with my face in them rather than just informational content or past designs or my work, the posts with me in them perform the best because there's that human connection, there's that resonance, and I see it with all my clients. I see it with everything. I'm more likely to engage with a person rather than information, rather than digital information, rather than video. So I think there's sort of a two-pronged approach to the progression of AI and digital platforms and automation and no code and all these exciting tools. But at the same point, it gets to where the flip side is also far more in demand. So balancing that easel, keeping an eye on both things, that's something I'm very bullish on. And I'm looking forward to how we can leverage these things and just keep living my story, keep living MMG's story, keep living the Creative Journal story, and making personal gains as we go. Like I said, I'm loving sharing the journey. I'm loving being as transparent as possible. Make sure you guys like and give feedback. Like I love hearing from you guys. People that offer me feedback on the show, that they comment, say they genuinely enjoyed it, that they get value from it, that just fills my cup so much. And I'd love your guys' feedback because I do it for you. I don't do it for me. I do it to share about my journey and stuff, but in the end, that's why we all do this business, is to serve other people. And if your North Star is aligned on those principles, then it just informs every other decision that makes it so much easier when you're not worried about trying to impress people or market your business or make a ton of money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little non-traditional sort of style episode. We went a little bit long, but it's just an update on Andy, where I am at in the business, future plans for the podcast, and keeping you guys in the loop on what I'm bullish and bearish on headed into Q2, which is not that far away. So, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you guys are enjoying the show, like I said, leave a like, review, 5-star review on our platform you're listening to. Be sure to comment with all the prompts that I left in this episode. If you guys want to start reading more to grow your business, something I have done, I've shared all the books I've read on this podcast. Today we talked about Jim Collins' Good to Great. If you guys want to learn more about that book and many others, you can download the free business owners essential Notion database, which you can clone into your own dashboard. Has all of my favorite books on business, entrepreneurship, marketing, getting leads, sales, how I started my own business, and distills them all into a directory of books you can search and filter. Has the links to download them, short summaries, actionable quotes, and prompts from each, all distilled in your own dashboard for free. Link to that landing page will be in the description. Against entry 43 of the Creative Center podcast. We'll see you next week for entry number 44. And until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.